tough part is when we're not conscious of being unconscious, right?
Yes,
And
yes.
yeah, so we don't know. So
No.
you know, you can live a person can live a miserable life and never really question
Mm-hmm.
why they're living that, why they're thinking what they're thinking, why they're feeling what they're feeling, why they're doing what they're doing. You don't question it. It's just, you know, a- and I think that once you kind of open up to that, there's something there that we need to explore. I think our life at that point starts to get better.
Mm-hmm.
And that is,
Mm-hmm.
again, assuming that you're willing to do the work.
Yeah. So it's an honor to have you here, Bob. I was so looking forward to seeing you.
Well, likewise.
Yes, because I was just looking back, into the You Today interview, and I think it was 2016, 2017 when I first contacted you.
Yeah, it was a long
Mm.
time ago.
Yes, yes. But I think in what I've seen, you continue to be the same.
I hope so.
Yes.
Just a little older, grayer hair.
We all, we all, we all have
No,
just
you look
taking it out.
magnificent. No, you look wonderful.
No, it's really, really happy. I look wonderful because I'm really happy to finally meet you in person and really be with you here.
Thank you.
Um, and yes, have a conversation heart to heart. And I know I can do that with you because since we've been writing, and I've had this written interview by you and some emails in back in 2017 or so. It's I feel your heart, and I know we are already enjoying the conversation and expanding. And there's many similarities, like well, you talk about communication. Huh? Communication is so important.
Oh, absolutely.
Yes, and at the end, it's relationship.
Hmm. Well, without that, nothing good can ever really happen. It,
Yeah.
right? Begins and ends there.
Yes, a relationship is everything,
Hmm.
even relationship with ourselves,
That's right.
and also there, communication with ourselves.
That's true too. Yeah, it's a great point.
Yes, yes, and I know you look forward to, well, to people to see the good in themselves.
Well, I mean, I think
Mm-hmm.
that's a big thing, and if
Mm-hmm.
anything I've tried to do is probably more than anything else is to be an encourager.
Mm-hmm.
And I've been fortunate that people have encouraged me, and yeah, I think that's one of the most important things we can do in the world is be an encourager of others.
Yes, yes, as you are for yourself.
Yeah, absolutely.
No, I guess with the majority of whom I speak, the guests, is they're people that at the end are empowering others through the experience they had.
Hmm.
You know? And what you talk about is based on your experience.
Sure.
No, and this is the talks you hold, and the way you influence and communicate to the world is through your own experience.
Yeah, that it really is. I mean, we experience first what we see around us, and we certainly take in our basic belief system through
Mm-hmm.
um, upbringing, environment, schooling, then news media, television, movies, and and so forth. And we see the world that certain way, and we have our own experiences along the way, and all of these things shape, our worldview,
Yes,
our belief system. So
yes.
yeah, that's all of us. So uh, you know, most of us we kind of grow up with a, um, I guess you could say, an unconscious operating system
Mhm.
where we really
Yeah.
don't know this is why we think and feel and say the things we do. So first, it's understanding that that's a thing, right?
Hmm.
We don't
Hmm.
even know that we know that, and then it's becoming aware of it, and then questioning. As we do these things or have these feelings or feel hurt about something or about someone, what someone says, and it's really important to start questioning our premises and say, well, why? Why do I feel that way about that certain thing? And there's a reason for it, and it has something to do with our experience. Michael Singer in his wonderful book, uh,
Hmm.
Living Untethered, he talks about some what he calls samskaras, and those are those unfinished uh, bits of energy, those unfinished packets of energy that we never allow to just kind of go through and experience and let go of, but
Hmm.
instead they stay within our heart and our mind and so forth. And things trigger it all the time, and we don't know. So we have these horribly, these horrible reactions, whether it's anger, frustration, victimization, whatever it
Yeah.
happens to be, and we don't even know that's why we're feeling them. We don't even think about them. So
No,
we really have to go deep again question these feelings. Don't not judge them,
no, no.
but question them and ask what it is that has caused us and so forth. So yeah, it's the human nature is a crazy game, and I've
Hmm.
spent a good part of my life now really trying to understand people, trying to understand human nature, trying to understand myself. Yeah.
Yes, yes. I can believe that.
People say, well, what do you think of that person doing that? I don't know. I have enough trouble
Mhm.
thinking about why I'm doing everything.
Yes. Yes. It's a journey,
It is a journey.
a
Yeah,
long
it is.
journey. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm. It's this observation, no? The
Always.
constant, continuous observation
Hmm.
of what's happening outside, what's happening inside, what you're thinking, what you're feeling, how you are responding, why you are being triggered. But it's constant. It's a willingness. It's a, yeah, it's our journey, and I believe that it's for us to peel the onion.
Oh, sure. Yeah. And continue to grow and continue to
Hmm.
understand. Sure.
Yes, to get to become um, well, the heart that we are, no?
Yeah. The highest version of ourselves, which
Hmm.
allows us to be, I have a quote from Michael Singer's book from, he
Hmm.
wrote a number of books, and
Yes.
the one that many people are familiar with is The Untethered Soul, which is a great
Yeah.
book. And his book, The Surrender Experiment, wonderful.
Hmm.
Third one, Living Untethered, which really helped me on a deep level to really understand those things that have been going on inside me that I've. But he ends near the end of the book, and I have this written on my excuse me, typed up and put on my computer. So that's why I'm looking at that right now.
Hmm.
And he wrote near the end of the book, he wrote, the highest thing you could do with your life is to make it so that every moment that passes before you is better off because it did. That's the highest definition of the purpose of life. That
Hmm.
every single moment, every person, every moment that happens to unfold in front of you is better off because it passed by you. It was raised a little.
Yes,
I
I
think
love
that's such a
that.
beautiful way
I love
to
that.
look at life. And we can only do that when we feel good about ourselves
Hmm.
and when
Hmm.
we understand ourselves and we're able to kind of get rid of those samskaras that have built up over our lifetimes. And,
Yes.
and he shows us in the book how to do it. I've been studying that book now for the last year and a half, and just reading it over and over and over again, aside from other books I read.
Yeah.
But but yeah, I've found that to be so very important. We've got to constantly be working on ourselves and our own issues, and as we do that, it makes it so that we can raise the world a little bit for everyone whose lives we touch.
Yes. Yes. It's I read the book about 1 year ago also, and it's about, I always say, we positively impact. We
Mm.
positively impact when we are who we are and create what we
Mm.
love.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And to what you were saying before, for me being who I am is for me being who I am now. I don't have a label. I don't know what I am. I
Mm-hmm.
just am, and I'm choosing every moment.
Yeah.
So it's what Michael Singer is saying, no? That it passed through me, and it's for me, and I'm enjoying it because I am
Mm.
here enjoying with who I am now. That in 1 minute I'm not, I'm different already because I'm who I am
Yeah,
in
you
that
keep
moment.
evolving minute by minute,
Yes,
experience by experience. Oh, that's beautiful.
yes, and that's our purpose. And what I believe, what I say, it's our purpose is to be who I am and create what we love.
Ah,
Because that's when we positively impact around, and that's when we are who we want to see.
yes.
No?
I love that.
Yes, it's through my guests that I get these insights because I many times you're being asked, and who are you? No, and I don't know who I am. I just know that I am.
Right. Yeah.
There's no
We're,
label.
we're, we're the one who experience, we're the one that experiences everything. Yeah.
Yes, yes. And the
Yeah.
relationships we have. And it's so beautiful because when you are who you are in the moment, I'm enjoying with you. I'm here with you, open-hearted. I am, and I'm honest. I trust you. I I am humble. Everything because I'm in my heart.
Yeah.
No, so I cannot be otherwise than what I am.
Yeah.
Whatever
Well,
it
that
is.
that that comes through in your entire aura. Yeah, absolutely.
Mhm. Yes, yes, it's my intention, no, for sure. We are human beings,
Hmm.
but then it's what you're saying. I listen to you. I'm observing. No, if I get triggered or if I behave some way, I recognize how I'm behaving and I see why I'm behaving like that, and
Sure.
I feel it. Why, no?
Hmm. Yeah, and that's the key when we can observe it and catch ourselves.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and question that. Then we're in a position of strength. We're
Yes,
in a position to be able to work through it. The tough part is when we're not conscious of being unconscious, right?
yes,
And
yes.
yeah, so we don't know. So
No.
you can live a person can live a miserable life and never really question
Mm-hmm.
why they're living that, why they're thinking what they're thinking, why they're feeling what they're feeling, why they're doing what they're doing. You don't question it. It's just, and a- and I think that once you kind of open up to that, there's something there that we need to explore. I think our life at that point starts to get better.
Mm-hmm.
And that is,
Mm-hmm.
again, assuming that you're willing to do the work.
Yeah.
To, there was another book I read recently that I thought was fantastic by Byron Katie called
Uh-huh.
"Loving What Is,"
Mm.
and it was really an interesting. The premise of her book I thought was fascinating. It was basically when I argue with reality, I lose, but only 100% of the time. And so in the book, she goes through a whole bunch of conversations with people who have had things happen that were not comfortable at all, and so the first thing was, well, this shouldn't have happened, or they shouldn't be that way, he shouldn't do that, or yeah, what have you. Um, and her first question was, well, first, do you know that's true? And usually it's, well, not totally. I don't totally 100% know, or you might even think, yeah, it's true, and then say, well, do you really know that? Well, no, it's not true. And so how, who are you, as how are you feeling as you allow that, as with that thought? Well, I feel really lousy,
Mhm.
about that. And then, how would you feel? Who would you be? If basically, if I'm paraphrasing here,
Yeah,
but if
yeah.
you're not attached to that being the case, well, I'd be a lot happier. right?
Yes.
So the fact is that, but now that doesn't mean, it's not to say you shouldn't try to work on and help what is in your control. I mean, in Stoic philosophy was, it was wonderful when, as their premise, that is, control what you can
Mm-hmm.
control what's in your control, and then lose total attachment to anything not in your control. Again, easier said than done, but that's
Yeah,
what we
yeah, yeah.
work toward. But so that's basically what Byron Katie is saying.
Mm-hmm.
Reality simply is
Mm-hmm.
what we can help fix or what we can help. Of course, you do your best, but what you can't, then you've got to say, well, first of all, shouldn't be true. Well, it is, so maybe it should be true. Again, it's not excusing bad behavior.
No.
It's just saying, yeah, it is true. This
Mm-hmm.
happened because all these things probably added up to it happening. So are we going to embrace reality,
Mm-hmm.
or are we going to try to deny reality? And
Mm.
denying reality always causes sadness.
Yes, hurts. It
Right?
hurts. It hurts, and it's what you were saying at the beginning. It stays within, and we're not letting it go. We are attached to
Yeah.
something, no?
Yeah.
Denying.
Successful people. Oh, excuse me. Go ahead.
No, 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 no. I'm okay. I'm okay, Bob. Go ahead.
No, successful people really tend to live in reality. And when I say successful, I mean, whether it's financially, physically, spiritually, mentally, emotionally, socially, relationally, whatever, they live in reality. Now, that doesn't mean that they give up and just say, oh, well, this is just how it is, nothing I can do about it, blah, 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 poor me. No, they work within that reality. They first embrace, yes, this is reality. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Now, how can I take that reality and work toward, my benefit, your benefit, everyone's benefit?
Mm-hmm.
And, it's sort of, if you look at, you look at gravity. Gravity is a reality. You can embrace it or you can deny it. You can't change it. I remember Bob Proctor first saying that. And, so is gravity a good thing or is it a bad thing? Well, it depends on the context. Gravity is great when it keeps us from floating aimlessly up into space. It manifests itself as not so great when we walk off a 7-story building. Okay. And so you look at the first people who were, inventing flight, and, imagine them going to the top of a cliff with some wooden wings on or something and saying, well, this gravity thing, I, yeah, I don't believe it. That's just, I'm just going to go off and jump off and flap my arms. And right.
Mm-hmm.
Well, the reality is they sink right to the thing and they, right. But no, what they did is they said, okay, reality is this, gravity works. So what did they do? They studied the laws of physics, the laws of aerodynamics, the laws of nature, and they recognized how to go against the resistance and be able to, right? And so they first embraced reality.
Mm-hmm.
But they didn't say, oh, okay, well, gravity, no way we can fly. No, they discovered how to work within the reality, the laws of gravity and so forth in order to fly.
Mm-hmm.
And that's really, what it comes down to. So we've got to start with reality.
Yes.
And that was, I think, last year, that was my word for the year, was reality. Just uh, you know, because I always, I used to have a really difficult time with being wrong. I just
Mm-hmm.
didn't want to be wrong, and you could rationalize, and when we rationalize, it means we tell ourselves rational lies, right? And we could do that because we just don't want to be wrong. So then when we can instead live in reality and seek the truth, regardless of whether that's an ego hit or not,
Yeah.
well, we're in a much better position now to be effective. But so yeah, I think
Yeah.
all these things.
Mhm. That's true. It's true. It's like what you're saying. One thing I like to do, and I started several years ago, it was really looking, reading about many different things, even if they're not my point of view,
Absolutely.
because I want to open perception. So it's
Yes.
really cracking my mind open, no? Because you read
Yes.
something, you say, "Nah, it cannot be true." No, no, it's the
Mhm.
first hit. And then you say, oh, why not? Let me investigate more. No?
Yes.
And then you see how this opens up. and the perception open up, and how you are able to deal with the different point of view, just as an observer,
Hmm.
knowing you don't know, because many times you're not a physicist, and you're not a mathematician, no, but you see different points of view and say, okay, I know I don't know, but I know it exists. No, I know. So it's totally okay. And the perception is wider.
Yeah. What you just said is such a wonderful point. Um, and here in the States, I don't know how it is in Spain where you are, but here we have such a divide in terms of political
Yeah.
philosophy, so forth. And one
Absolutely.
thing I suggest to people is, watch the television station that you disagree with.
Mm-hmm.
you
Mm-hmm.
know,
Yes.
listen to them, not so that you'll change your mind, but just so you'll understand where they're coming from, their point of view.
Mm-hmm.
If you're on that side of the aisle, watch the other station that you don't like and right
Yes.
and read opposing points of view. If you're a on this side, read things on that side. If you're on this side, read things on that side. Really try to and don't do it in order to criticize it.
Mm-mm.
Do it in order to learn.
Mm-hmm.
And again, it doesn't mean that you have to change your mind, but it can help us open up. Confirmation bias is such a big element of human nature, and confirmation bias, of course, is when new information you come across new information, and if it agrees with your already held beliefs, you accept it automatically.
Mm-hmm.
But if it runs contrary to your already held beliefs, you dismiss it. And again, this is unconscious. We don't do it on
Yeah.
purpose. We just do it. So we need to catch ourselves. So so what I suggest to people is, okay, if you're looking at the other side of a political argument or debate or whatever, and you come across, you hear something, see something, read something that disagrees with your already held beliefs, if you feel yourself getting defensive, or if you feel yourself automatically dismissing it, catch yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Catch yourself. Start to, check your premises. Well, why do I feel this is wrong? How did that person come up with, or if you see something that you agree with, well, why do I agree with it?
Mm-hmm.
Where did that person get their information? Has it been proven that this is this or that? And go deep. And it's just a great exercise for
Yes,
our
I love
for
it.
our mind. Again, it doesn't mean we have to agree
Mm-hmm.
when we're open to it. And that's opposed to the person who, their life philosophy seems to be, my mind is already made up. Don't confuse me with the facts. You can't learn
Mm-hmm.
that way. Bro.
No, 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 you cannot expand it away. You will stay, you will stay where you are. But yes, we said in a moment in time now that it feels different when you really step out of this, I don't know, box that you grew up, and you start seeing things from different points of view, and everything is, and you start being who you are. So it's really very, very liberating.
Mm,
No, it's
good
so
point.
you're taking so much weight out of your shoulders. You're just walking lightly, and lightly I mean
Yeah.
lightweight,
Yeah.
and but you are grounding even stronger
Mhm.
into your essence. No,
Yeah.
so you are understanding more about people's points of view,
Hmm.
about you get them empathic, no, and compassionate, so you understand and you are able to deal with different opinions because you know where when you
Yeah.
see where people are standing, you're recognizing them through who they are, what they have around, and what makes them say certain things. So
Mhm.
you just don't get triggered so much.
Yes. Ooh, that's powerful. That's
Mhm.
powerful. And when in a disagreement with another person, um, and again, whether it's politics or religion
Mhm.
or your favorite sports team or
Yeah.
whatever it happens to be, we can disagree with people while still speaking with tact
Mhm.
and kindness and respect.
Mhm.
And unfortunately, it seems as though a lot of people they don't seem to feel you can do that. It's like if you're not mean or to somebody, it means you're agreeing with them. And no, tact and kindness should never be confused with compromising one's values. We can always stay congruent with our values while treating others with respect. There's no, and typically the more you do that, the more persuasive and influential you're going to be, because
Mhm.
you hear people, and certainly on social media, you see it all the time, where people are calling each other idiots and stupid. And I've
Such a
never seen
pity.
anybody who's insulted whoever writes back or says or responds, "Oh, thank you so much for pointing out the error of my ways. I agree with you now." No,
Mhm.
it doesn't happen.
Yes, it doesn't happen. It's such a it's a pity because yes, at the end is this respect. This respect we have when we respect ourselves and we see that we have certain points of view that not necessarily are true, we don't know them. So we respect ourselves and value ourselves. And then we understand, value, and respect others with their points of view because I'm not walking their shoes. I've always been walking mine, my story,
Mhm.
my no, where I grew, and so no one ever has my mindset,
It's true.
my point of view. There's no way.
That's true.
So there's always going to be something different, but that's also the beauty. We are all the same, and we are so unique.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And so so it's interesting when we are in a whether it's a debate, a discussion, a disagreement, whatever, when we can ask questions
Mhm.
of that person as opposed to trying to just tell them what the answer is, when we can ask,
Mhm.
how did you come to that
Yes.
opinion? So not saying, well, why do you think that, but how did you come to that opinion? And they give you an answer and say, tell me more about that. Boom,
True.
where did you, and you ask these questions respectfully, and you're bringing out that it's for me. Now they can kind of hear themselves talk and hear
Mhm.
themselves think. And now you can ask questions that maybe, what if, boom, and now you're able to ask a question that gets them thinking a different way. But because you're doing it in a kind, respectful, tactful way, they're not defensive. They're not
True.
putting up a shield. They kind of see that you're just looking to you're seeking the truth wherever that truth may lead, and that's leadership, because when
Hmm.
they see you doing that, they're much more likely to do
Yes.
that.
That's so beautiful. And also, I see in what you're saying, I also see recognition.
Mm.
Mhm. Because
Yeah,
when you're asking them and saying, okay, okay, where do you see that you're recognizing something in them
sure.
for
Hmm.
them to then explain further? You're
Yes.
giving them the path for them to open up more and explain, no?
Yeah,
So you're really recognizing them, and they also lower this defensiveness because you're not pushing.
exactly. Exactly. Yeah. It's the difference, and I love how you said that, because so we said it's the difference between push and pull.
Mhm.
Because when great influencers don't push their ideas on others. They don't push their will on others. They're not pushy, right?
Mhm.
And it's like when you hear, we have a saying, again, I don't know if this translates in Spain, but we have a saying that a person has a lot of pull, and
Mhm.
which, right? So you never hear people say, wow, that person has a lot of push, right? They have a
Yes.
lot of pull. And pull is so much different from push, because push is it's compliance, it's force, it's anger, it's manipulation, it's threat, it's when you gently pull, it's like, say, how far can you push a rope?
Mhm.
And the answer is
Mhm.
not very far, at least not very fast or very effectively. But can you gently pull? Can you lead? Can you guide a person along? And how do you do that? Well, you do that through focusing on what they need, what they want, what they desire, what problems they might be having that you can help them with. And so when we're outwardly focused, and we're asking ourselves those questions, how we can relate to them, how we can make it about them, wow, now we've kind of earned that person's if not yet commitment to our ideas, at least their openness
Yes. Their heart,
to them,
their
the heart.
hearts open up.
Yeah.
They're not closed and defensive. They're just opening up and becoming
Yes.
more. I don't know to use the word vulnerable, but more really open
Sure.
into the conversation and
Uh-huh.
into the relationship.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Yes, yes. So, Bob, thank you, thank you, thank you. I
Oh,
appreciate so much having you here, having met you finally,
yeah.
and really for you joining me in co-creation.
Well, it's my absolute pleasure. Thank you so much for having me.